What is up, Canes fans? It is the Beast. Welcome back to the channel, The Beast On. Want to let you know before we get to the Canes victory over Virginia Tech and everything going on in Canes world, want to let you know that this YouTube video, as well as all the YouTube videos that are coming up that I do as it relates to the Canes, and my new endeavor, which is hosting talk shows on Twitter Spaces, which allows me to talk to you and you to talk to me. Yeah, the old-fashioned sports talk show thing happening on Twitter at Miami Radio Beast. It is all brought to you by, I'm happy to announce that we have a new sponsor, and I'm so happy we are aligned together. It is CIA, Closure Investigative Agency. They are Florida's premier private investigative firm, the most aggressive PI firm in South Florida. Ulysses and his staff, they will get the information you need and leave no stone unturned. They've been doing it for more than 2 decades here in South Florida. There's no one else you should trust to find you the truth. Are you worried about a cheating spouse? Is there a custody issue going on? Do you need a thorough background check on a potential employee? Maybe it's an insurance investigation, a legal investigation, whatever it is, whatever information you need to find out, Ulysses and the crew at Closure Investigative Agency will find that information for you. Even if it's an international situation, they will go far and wide for you and get the job done. So, call Ulysses and his staff right now at 844-403-2550. That's 844-403-2550. Or email them at info@ciagency.net. That's info@ciagency.net. Follow them on Twitter at CIAPIFL. That's at CIAPIFL. And find them on the web at ciagency.net. Now let's get to what's going on in Canesland. All right, Hurricane fans, the Canes beat Virginia Tech. It was sloppy at times, both on the field and with the weather at Hard Rock Stadium, but Miami pulls out a win against Virginia Tech to go to 6-5, secures a bowl bid, and wins on senior night at Hard Rock Stadium. And the Manny Diaz trials and tribulations continue. We know Miami is looking for a new athletic director. More on that in a bit. But we know that Manny Diaz, we're not quite sure. Actually, we don't know what his future is. It seems like it's up in the air. A little bit. We thought he was definitely going to be out, and now, well, we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the game first. And I think there's a couple of things you take away from the game, which is Tyler Van Dyke, Tyler Van Dimes, TVD, QB1. That guy's got it. That guy's the real deal. Another game over 300 yards. Touchdown passes. We're throwing the ball over 50 yards down the field. He knows what to do. He knows when to escape. He knows where to go with the football. We have a quarterback. And, you know, it's always hit or miss in the recruiting situation. And you brought in TVD, then you brought in Jake Garcia, and you were hoping that one of them would hit. Now, unfortunately for Jake, he got hurt, but TVD looks like he is the real deal. You'll have him for at least a year, another year after this. So, good thing for Miami Hurricane fans is the hardest thing to solve in all of football, whether it's high school, college, or the NFL, is a starting quarterback situation because you need one to win. And Miami has found theirs in Tyler Van Dyke. I just love his charisma. I love his leadership. I love his pocket presence. I love his huddle presence. I love what he brings as far as his skill set. And I'm so happy that Miami lucked out in finding Tyler Van Dyke. So that was a takeaway from yesterday as he's, running up the ACC records already. And doing it with some guys that are also about to break some records. Charleston Rambo, Mike Harley, getting involved yesterday. Now, it was a little bit disconcerting that the conventional run game was really nowhere to be found Rooster didn't get much done. Thad Franklin came in late and got a little bit done when they had to, but it's still a little bit disconcerting that the offensive line can't do more in order to fashion a conventional run game. I will say this, it's also really freaking upsetting and mind-blowing, and I just want to just slap myself, just slap and slap and slap. Every time it is 4th and short, and they line up in the shotgun, and they run Rooster right up the middle. Holy crap, can we stop doing this? Jesus! I mean, come on. Now listen, TVD was banged up yesterday. He ended up having to put a sleeve on his leg. We'll get more on that injury coming up this week. Hopefully it's not serious, although Manny said after the game that TVD was gutsy to play in the second half. They weren't even sure if he was going to go in the second half. And so maybe that's why you don't sneak it, because I've been advocating that, listen, in this situation, it's 4th and 1 or less, you need to just take the quarterback, give him the football, and let him line up under center and lean forward to pick up the first down. They didn't want to do that. TVD was hurt, fine. Why are they lining up with a shotgun? It makes no sense to do that run up the middle. Do something, do better, Rhett Lashlee. Just come up with something better, Rhett Lashlee, please. Like, I know they picked it up yesterday by the hair of their skinny skin and chinny chin chin, but they need to figure something out because it's just mind. It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it makes me want to put my head through a wall, which I'm not going to do in this video because I don't want to hurt myself right now. But in a game-like situation, I might very well actually put my head through a wall. Good to see Will Mallory improving, right? He, if it weren't for a holding call, he would have had a long touchdown, and he seems to have gotten over the case of the dropsies that he had at the beginning of this year. So that was good to see. On the other side of things, defensively, I mean, you had Virginia Tech's 2 quarterbacks combined for like 184 rushing yards, and you couldn't figure that out, and that was disconcerting. And there was more mismatches and bad plays on defense. And I mean, when Ragone, and no offense to him, is your standout at linebacker, that's a bit of a situation. I can't comprehend how a defense can look like this when the guy that's coaching your team and your defense has a ton of experience in that area. I feel numb at this point to what I'm watching defensively for the team. Now, it was good to see Zach McLeod get that strip sack. It was good to get him a turnover chain. That was wonderful in his third senior night, as Manny Navarro put it after the game. Manny Navarro asked Zach McLeod, how did it feel to win on your third senior night? Which was pretty funny and also true. So it was good to see some good play from Zach. And there was some up and down play yesterday. I know some guys got necked and all of that stuff, but I'm watching Virginia Tech's quarterback run up and down the field, either one of them, and I'm just going you just figure it out, please. Just figure it out. I apologize for the small dog barking downstairs. He comes from a abusive background, so a lot of things upset him, but we rescued him, and for better or worse, he's ours. So we love you, little Marley, even though you don't stay quiet often, right? Yes. All right. What else to take away from the game? Well, here's the thing, is that could have gone sideways, right? You come out in the second half, you're not doing well offensively, Virginia Tech gets going, they get the onside kick, but Miami regains traction and ends up winning the game. And in the past, it's probably a game that they would have just lost, right? But they didn't. And that does say something about this team of players and the fact that they don't give up. So that is something positive to take away from yesterday. And I hope that it continues in Durham next week, and then for a bowl game in somewhere, God only knows, parts unknown, El Paso, San Diego, San Francisco, Tampa, New York, Bangladesh, Newfoundland. I don't know where they're going, but it should be somewhere. And I think the important thing to take away is that is one of the things that Mike Harley said after the game yesterday. We asked him if he was going to, maybe check out when it came to the bowl, and he said no. He said, I love this university too much. I'm playing in every opportunity there is. And he said, from what I hear in the locker room, I haven't heard too much talk about guys checking out before the bowl game. So that's good to know. That would be fun to actually get to a bowl game and win it. That would be a plus. Miami could finish with 8 wins, which isn't what we were expecting, but it could be worse. You could be Florida or Florida State. And let me get to that as we transition to all the other drama going around the University of Miami program. It sounds like, and I did some digging today, so there's two sides of this story. There's all sorts of fodder on the Twitter machine that, the AD search is all about wrapped up. And by the time you watch this video, maybe it has been. I don't know. On the other hand, I did check in. There's a candidate that I think should probably get an interview, or I would hope would get an interview. And I just checked in to see if that candidate was interviewed yet, if this was completed or not, because I know, the search firm has been hired and all of this stuff. And from what I can gather is that this person was not interviewed or contacted about an interview yet. Now, what does that mean? Well, either that means they're moving slower than has been reported, or, and a lot of people were confused by when I tweeted this on Twitter, but I'll see if I can explain here, which is either they're moving slower because this person hasn't got a phone call yet, and I would expect that they would, or the search is done, they found their person, and there's no more interviews to be done. That it could mean that too. So, yes, I know you're going to make fun of me. Well, you're putting out a report that basically tells us nothing. That is absolutely correct. And I'm sorry to be that type of person. I'm just relaying what I have found out, which is not much, but something. So, do with that what you will, which is probably not much, but it is something. I can tell you that someone from the search firm that they have hired did meet with some former players in Atlanta to get their thoughts on the situation. So that is something. And it's interesting to note that, they're using a different search firm than they did last time in 2015, but it's really the same people, because the people that left the past search firms went to this search firm. So it may be a different company, but it's really the same people, if that makes any sense. And the other thing about a search firm is they're really there to get things done in the dark, right? Which means that way an AD candidate, if they're at a current school and someone asks him, hey, did you talk to Miami? He can say no, because he didn't. He talked to the search firm, right? It's plausible deniability. So it just creates a barrier in the process, and also helps with background checks and all the other stuff that goes on in this sort of thing. You don't want to have a situation where you hire somebody and then all of a sudden, a week after you hire them, there's some skeleton in the closet that comes out, and you didn't find that out in the process. So that's what the search firm is there for. As it relates to the head coaching situation, well, now we have a situation in Florida where they have fired Dan Mullen. They'll be looking for a head coach. So now there's another job competing with what might be an open job at Miami, and we don't know yet. And the thing that is going to trouble me, or that may keep me up at night, is that these other schools, the USCs of the world, the Virginia Techs of the world, the Floridas of the world, are going to find their next coach before Miami makes a decision on whether to keep Manny Diaz. Now, if you end up keeping Manny Diaz, which would be probably not the popular decision, nor the one that seems the smartest at this point, then it doesn't matter. But if you end up relieving Manny Diaz of his duties, well, now you're behind, because the other schools have decided to jump the gun first in moving on from their head coaches. They've already started their coaching search. They're ahead of the game. So it just worries me when it comes to bidding wars and competition. You look at a guy like Lane Kiffin, and if he's at all interested in the Miami job, if the Miami job is open, well, it seems like Gainesville would be a pretty good fit for Lane Kiffin too. And now they're able to move. They're not changing athletic directors. They're able to move quick on that situation, So the season ends next week. So, anything can happen after next Saturday as far as coaches go. Or even before then. So, the time is now. The time to make moves is now. The time to act is now. I'm sorry, you're going to have to figure out whether to make a decision on Manny Diaz before a bowl game. You're going to have to, you can't wait. I don't even think at this point you should wait until next Saturday in the Duke game. I think if you're going to make a move, you do it now. You tell Manny, you're coaching next week, but I'm sorry, we have to move on. The team's still going to play for him next week. They love him, and that's fine. But the time to act is now. You gotta make this AD hire and get on the coaching search as soon as possible, because now you're competing with like-minded type of schools in Florida and USC. I'm not really worried about Virginia Tech competing for the same type of coach, but certainly as it relates to USC or Florida, same boat. And LSU for that matter. So it's time to get on it. It's time to get on it right now. So I think that's what I would do. All right. That'll do it for me in this one. You will see me and hear me plenty in the next couple of weeks, whether it be at Twitter Spaces, as I said, and you can get that through my Twitter handle at Miami Radio Beast, or right here on the YouTube channel. And speaking of the YouTube channel, do me a favor. As it relates to the YouTube channel, please do me the favor of subscribing, hitting the bell when you go to subscribe so you get notified of new videos, hitting the thumbs up to tell Google, hey, this is pretty good content. We'll move it up the list of searchable things. And, of course, tell all your friends, right? Yeah. So, whether it's at Twitter Spaces, so to get me there, you can follow me at Miami Radio Beast, or on the YouTube channel, you'll be hearing me, you'll be seeing me, I will be getting you the info, and it's all brought to you, again, by Ulysses and the folks at Closure Investigative Agency. They are the best PI firm in Florida. I'm telling you, whatever problems you're going through, where you need to get some information, you're suspicious of a spouse, a girlfriend, you are going through a custody issue, it happens a lot. You've got some sort of international situation going on. Maybe it's a legal investigation, an insurance investigation. You just need someone to go do a thorough background search of somebody you're about to hire. Then call Ulysses and his crew at Closure Investigative Agency. 844-403-2550. 844-403-2550. Or find them on the web at ciagency.net. That's ciagency.net. Closure Investigative Agency, bringing me to you. I'll see you when I see you.